Okay, good afternoon. How was the exam in the morning? Bad question I asked. You might answer. No, exam good. What was that? For 2 minutes. It was a virtual class. You have the classes virtual. That's a problem because, in fact, when they told me that I'm getting the people today physically, I was so glad. I was thrilled because all this time from 2012, I was lecturing at postgraduate classes from 2012. All this time, physical classes. Since this new subject, majority of the people are not familiar with international trade. One-to-one interaction is the best thing. Last few years, always, even though you have not done trade, with my effort and your commitments, at least 75% of the people, 68 to 70 people, easily get through the exam question. So that's a very good pass rate. Very good pass rate. Any given occasion, that's a very good pass rate. And that's because of we are having interaction. I'm not only lecturing, I'm discussing. I just want to have a dialogue with you, and you people will join with me. You can ask any question in any language, not in Tamil, Sinhala or English. Don't worry about the language barrier. Only thing is you have to get the knowledge. So physical classes was the best. And you must be having experience with the virtual classes. Majority of the people, halfway through, they vanish. And again, they come back. Right? Either the dogs are barking. We can hear, right? Put your dad on me, but they can end the you got put the king the oh, we can't do that. But now the enemy does say the pull. Are you going to pay the pull? Come back in here. Again, ban it. The issues, sections, it's not only even me, I do the same thing. When I'm getting involved in Zoom meetings, if the Zoom meeting is going on for hours and hours, discussions, nobody I mentioned, nobody they got the Mila, now particular Pangiri was like Hana. The Mickey Pajalina, Monkey Galen, there was right in the class. In the value a kai, by the give part of a big Harima man. Uduma man. Coincidence, a para. Again, postgraduate class second, but I am not doing the mind. Water say a monthly way. That's our the way. And then that's about the way. Ask to give them. That's not the bombing. Without the classes 100 now, we generate classes 100, if something happen on my phone, something on my every the exciting and at the audio. My content in the my go begin. They got everything. Woman with me then, I think Kampai area is closed down, knocked down, and entire country, the schools have been closed. So, we don't know what's going to happen. If everything goes smoothly, do you like to come for these physical classes? Huh? Yes. You like to come for physical classes. Meanwhile, we are going to have virtual classes also. But if you can come, so much the better. Those who are coming, you can have more interaction with the thing. Right? Because this is a new subject. Now, before I start, I just want to get some idea about the background of your people. I don't want to waste much time on asking individually who are you and which classes, which bank they are working. Who are the people from Bank of Islam? Majority would be there. People's Bank? Arabic. Okay. Then what are other banks? You? Senan Bank. Senan, how many people? Then NDB, not a single. NTB, only one. Then HNB, right. NSB, right. Compass. Very strange percentage. And normally, there are some people then MSP, Compass, we had a commercial. Only you. One or two from the commercial banks. Others are from majority from bank also. Right. Anybody who has worked in international trade department? Yeah. HNB, you are working in HNB trade. Earlier you had data and you engaged in international trade. Anybody else? Anybody else? Any idea? No. Right. I will introduce myself because today nobody here to introduce me to you. So I will introduce myself. My name is Susanta Adera in India. I'm an ex-banker now. No more involved in active banking. I started my banking career with Standard Chartered Bank and ended up as the head of trade. And then after 25 years, I moved to HSBC Bank. Not here. I was working overseas for around 10 years, HSBC, overseas. And after that, I came back to Sri Lanka. Then I was a consultant at MDB Bank, and then again joined as a consultant to HSBC. Then anybody from Cardiff Bank? No. Then I was invited to join Cardiff to set up the bank. That was in 2012. 6, 7 of us, we set up the bank from 10, nothing. I set up the international trade department and then worked there till 2016. After that, I retired from banking career after 45 years of active banking. My specialty is with international trade. Here in IBSL, I am doing DAPF, Postgraduate, trade finance semester, as well as I have a special higher diploma class, diploma in higher diploma in international trade. That's a very high level, specialized for trade guys, especially. That is very popular among the banks, international trade people. A lot of people are coming for that because they enhance their knowledge and know more in and out of trade finance. Apart from that, I am a lecturer at Cambridge University. Yeah, management division. Again, I'm lecturing for third year students international trade. They have a banking, they have already started. Honors degree in banking. So one day you're going to have a tough. All these people in the banks are going to have a tough time with that particular crowd where are going to be specialized and with honors degree in banking. When they come to the market, you will be having a fight with them. You have to fight for their promotions and everything. They will also come and join as management trainees with a background knowledge and completely professional qualifications. So this is the first time they have started. So that's a background of mine. So with that, we will start introduction to international trade and method of payment. The first section. I hope and pray everything will be under control in next few days, right? So we will be able to come and have our classes here. Whether you can come or not, even if 10, 15, 30, 40 people can come, I'll be here every day at the same time. So if anybody wants, they can come and join the lectures. It will be much easier for me also. Then I'm having an interaction, right? Okay. What is international trade? What is international trade? Can somebody tell me what is international trade? Tell me. කාටද වචනයක්වත් ඔලුවට එන එක කියන්න බෑ. මොකද ඉන්ටර්නැෂනල් ට්‍රේඩ් කියලා කියන්නේ? යනවා නේද? මම හිතන්නේ ඉන්ටර්නැෂනල් ට්‍රේඩ්. Very good answer. Right? International trade is cross-border transactions. Cross-border. We have countries between two countries, across the borders, okay? Cross-border transactions of goods and services. Cross-border transaction of goods and services. Not only goods, services also. Goods and services. Bhanda seva, right? You won't believe recent statistics I don't have. Somewhere in 2015, in the world, right? The production of goods and services, the total production of goods and services were 75 trillion US dollars, 75 trillion. Million never, trillion. Right? Out of that is productions in the entire world, goods and services. The total value of the production. Out of that, about 30% international trade. Out of that, about 30% international trade. It can about 25 trillion dollars international trade. So that gives you some idea how big is international trade operation. Right? In every bank, whether it is Bank of Stan, People's Bank, SNB, Sampat, Commercial, or whatever the banks, every bank, any commercial bank, not NSB and all, not RDB. RDB also you are having people. RDB also. Those two banks you don't have international trade. Right? You don't have international trade. So all the other banks, the main income of most of the banks are coming from international trade. If you take bank income of portfolio, but 40% of the income is coming from corporate sector. Out of that 40%, within that 40%, but another 40 to 45% comes from international trade. That shows how important international trade department is and how important international trade to a bank where they can earn money. When it comes to international trade, you say international trade can be divided into two. One is imports trade. Other one is exports. One is imports, other one is exports. Right? So when importers and exporters join the bank as customers, right? They are not only doing international trade. We think that they are joining us to open LCs and settle bills. Not only that, right? When they open LCs, they need facilities. So we have to set up facilities. When they settle bills, they need money. They need loans. So we give them loans. For the loans, we are charging them interest. Right? And when we open LCs, we charge them commission. Right? When we settle bills, we charge them interest. And sometimes for them to pay custom duties, we have to give them overdrafts, facilities. For that, we are charging interest. So from one customer, we are expanding our tentacles like that. අපි හැමතැනම tentacles දිගහැරලා තියාගෙන ඉන්නේ. හැම පැත්තකින්ම කස්ටමර්ව charge කරනවා. right? ඒකද මේක හොඳ business එකක්. ඒකයි අපි international trade වලට මෙච්චර ලොකු තැනක් banks වල දෙන්නේ. right? හරි. Then before we learn about international trade, the easiest way to learn about international trade is to learn about domestic trade. First, we should know what is domestic trade. Right? How international trade differs from the domestic trade. Have you done domestic trade? Have you done any domestic trade? Personally? Bank නෙමෙයි well. We do it personally. Yes or no? Yes or no? Huh? What again? Right. Have you done? Yes. Have you done? What's up? What? You're in the basic trade. Yes. Buy it from market. Every day we are making. I do this, Mama. Yeah, I get one kilo per day. Now they get the mistake. Right. I look that day. The mistake trade can. Okay. They share another. Up gun no. Right. Ega harima. Me all of getting. Right. Then if you want to buy a sari to go for a wedding of one of your friends, right? The band is here, we didn't get a sergeant gun. So what are you going to do? If you want to buy a sari. Yes. You go shopping, right? During the lunch hour, now after the next dinner, you sari gun, yeah, you go to the shop and sorry, Balani. Even way, Napi pocket again, dear command than Napi mentioned up there. Empire of Banabana, they had again at that. They must say, Daravetina, Apikira, Megatiana, Mamenda, Yanoa, Iga Iga Padilla. In the Pasiane, Pari Alipatan and Aku yanti mereka berangin dulu deh. Nomor enak kan? Yang mereka berangin. Oh deh, atau dia kayak ada persen kan dia ni. Main stage ke, terus saya kode, bukan deh. Nomor awal dengan dia. Jadi aku dia mah, macam. Itu kan apa boleh kan? Kemudian, ya, macam harian seharian ini kan apa itu ya? Mereka ada tu mention lah tu. Texture ni katakanlah bala, ini harian lah tu. Ini harian lah tu. Ada harian lah tu. Persen ada lah. Itu lah, apa lah? Nama ya? Bulan dah shirt gandu nama tiada. Unfortunately, अपने सारी shirt सोने वहाँ पे cuma fix. Tunda pansi. Aduh berani. Ini ada bagian ini. Sari dah kira pandai kan? Cuma, kamu mewah aduh berani. Nah, kami apa perlu? We can wear it and we can go to the fit on room. Right? We can wear it and see whether it's fitting me. Nah, kami suit take away mention on. Ini hukum apa barang pula? We can see the texture. We can touch it. All those things are there. Right? But if you want to get down a vehicle from Japan, then you can't touch it. Then you can't see the vehicle. Everything will be on a pro forma invoice. You put down all your requirements, all your requirements, and then they will cater you according to the requirement. Right? But honestly, a transaction is, you know, vehicle even after making international trade, I think there are certain characteristics that apply to both parties, that the buyer and the seller. A common language and culture when it comes to domestic. Maju det kade te gila, අපි පාන් ගන්න ගිහලා පාන් ගන්නකොට පාන් ගන්න මම I'm lecturing in English and මම කඩේට ගිහලා එන give me a loaf of bread කියලා කියන්නේ නැහැ නේ. පුතාලේ පාන් ගෙඩියක් දෙන්න කියලා අපි කියන්නේ. නේද? එකම language එක. අපි අපේ ලොකුකම් පෙන්වන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. Same language. දෙන්නම කතා කරන්න ඕනේ එකම language එකේ. Right? අර ඇතුලේ ගම් වල නම් loaf of bread ගුවම මොනවද ඒ දන්නේ නැහැ. පීයක් කරගෙන දෙයක් දන්නේ නැහැ. අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. Right? ඒක අපේ එකම language එක අපි යන්නේ. And common law, same law, applicable to the country. Same law. Right? And absence of custom formalities. You don't have to go through the customs to buy a loaf of bread. Customs වල ඒවා ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා මේ මොනවාද? පාංගිරේ ගන්න custom හරහා ගිහලා custom duty ගෙවන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Even to buy a sari locally, you don't have to go through the customs. It has already gone through the customs. They have paid the custom duty. And now, nothing. Right? Then, usually relatively simple documentation. Very simple documentation. What is the documentation? What is the documentation? There's only one documentation. Bill. Yes. Correct. Bill. Receipt. When you pay, they give you a receipt. That's a very simple documentation. And a single currency. Single currency. We transact in rupees. We transact in rupees. Right? Then, එහෙම නැතුව මම උදේ පාංගිලේ ගන්න කියලා ඩොලර්ස් වත් ස්ටර්ලින් පවුන්ඩ් බිල් එකක්වත් දෙන්නේ නැහැනේ. පවුන්ඩ් වලින් පෙන්සල් වලින් පාන්ගිරියට ගෙවන්නේ ඒක ගෙවන්නේ රුපියල් 7 වලින්. දැන් ඒක තමයි එකම සිංගල් කරන්සි එකක් තියෙන්නේ. Relatively simple formalities to transport goods from buyer to seller. දැන් buyer ගෙන් sellerට ආවට පස්සේ ඒක අරන් ගෙදර යන්න තිරිසිරි බෑග් එකේ දාගත්ත සාරේ වුණා බෑග් එකේ දාගත්ත එල්ලගත්ත ගියා. පයින් යනවා පයින් ගියා. ත්‍රිවිධ දාගත්තා ත්‍රිවිධ ගියා. Very simple. Right? Very simple. That is domestic trade. හැබැයි මේක මේ විදිහට අපි වෙනවා. දැන් ඔය විදිහට තමයි domestic trade වෙන්නේ. International trade වල ඊට වඩා වෙනස් වෙනවා. It's more costly marketing effort. In international trade, the goods are produced in one country and they are selling the goods to another country. Right? But for example, the Germans, they make Volkswagen cars and they export it to UK. And the UK guys are buying those Volkswagen cars. Right? Who are who is the seller? Who is the seller? German. Germans are the seller. UK guys are the buyers. Right? The same as Japan selling radios and cars to Saudi Arabia. Right? That is also international trade. And another thing, Sri Lankan goes to Switzerland for a vacation or Italy for a vacation. Is it international trade? Sri Lankan goes to Switzerland or Italy for a vacation. Family. Is it international trade? Yes or no? Yes. Why? Huh? Yeah. Yes. එතින්ද වෙන්නේ පුතා මොකක්ද අපේ මම මුලින්ම පටන් ගන්නකොටම ඒක ලියුවද මම දැන්. ඔව්. මුලින්ම මම ලියලා පටන් ගත්තත් ඒකමයි. Goods and services. Goods and services. මේක ඇවිල්ලා මේ tourism is a service. It's a service. ඒකත් international trade එකක් තමයි. comes under international trade. Right? අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි හිතන්නේ නැති පැත්ත. දැන් අපි දැන් හිතන්න ඕන වෙනම හිතලා ගන්න ඕන. දැන් ওই විදිහට තමයි යන්නේ. More costly marketing efforts. For example, take Abans singer ගත්තාම what are the makes they are selling? Abans කරනවා LG කරනවා. සිංගත් fridges විකුණනවා නේ. සිංගත් fridges විකුණනවා. එතකොට Abans LG AC air conditioners විකුණනවා. Right? Singer air conditioners තියෙනවා. Philips air conditioners තියෙනවා. Softlogic air conditioners තියෙනවා. එක brands වලට. So when these people wants to sell the same type of goods, they have to compete with the others. More costly marketing. Marketing efforts are much difficult, right? Much complex. ඒකට එකක් අපි ෆයිට් කර marketing gimmicks da මොනවිදිහින් හරි විකුණන්න ඕන. right? Discounts දෙනවා, radio ads යනවා, TV ads යනවා, right? අමුතු විදියට යන්නේ ඒ ඔක්කොම යන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ dealing with different legal requirements. Dealing with different legal requirements. Sorry, coping with custom formalities. Coping with custom formalities. The goods have to be come from one country to the other. It has to go through the customs. Then the custom formalities you have to go through. Right? Then you have to charge. You have to charge duty. You have to charge duty. Right? And what custom formalities. Then dealing with different legal requirements. Different legal requirements. Take, for example, Saudi and Sri Lanka. We are exporting tea to Saudi. What is the legal framework in Saudi? What law? And what law in Sri Lanka? Law. Huh? Roman Dutch and English. Roman Dutch and English. English තමයි commercial law එක. Roman Dutch එක එනවා. අනිත් property laws වලට අරකට මෙයාට ඒවා එනවා. හරි අපේ mix එකක් තියෙනවා. Roman Dutch and English. English law තමයි දැන් ගොඩක් එන්නේ. Saudi වල මොකද law එක? Sharia law. They have it Sharia law. They are not dealing with Roman Dutch. Right? මොනහරි අපි මෙනාලෙන් උනොත් අපි මිනිහව කෙරේට දානවා අර මිනිස්සු බෙල්ල කපලා දානවා. දෙකෙන් එක. right? එතකොට සම්පූර්ණ වෙනස් නීති පද්ධති දෙකක් තියෙනවා. Relatively complex transport arrangements. Transport arrangements are very complex. Right? You have to, when you are exporting tea, you have to look for a ship, right? You have to look for insurance, for that thing. And locally then risk involved in foreign currency settlement. Settlement has to be in foreign currency. If you open LC in dollars, we have to settle it in dollars. There's no point of settling the bill to a UK guy in rupees. I mean, monogram, get it under. Make a yatone pounds. A pounds ring up then donor. A agreed rate in the number. The what? Rates fluctuations, risk, right? Rates are going up and down. No guarantee of the value at the time of settlement, conversion rate. You can't give a value, especially in Sri Lanka. Last few years, I can remember when we opened the LC, US dollar was at 178. By the time we received the goods after 3 months, it has gone up to 183. How can you estimate a price for the unit? You can't, right? Then risk of buyer default, unknown parties. Buyer is in one country, seller is in another country. One of those parties can cheat the other one. Default, right? And overseas government actions. Overseas government actions. All of a sudden, overseas governments can stop certain importation. They can impose rules. Example, example, our country. Our country can never put up more in there. Mark in the mayor can get out. Mark in the mayor can get out. Meet up the government. Put it. But again, March in the March 15th in the April 15th whenever a March as well as the circulars under the weather. That was a garden. Ram digging a circular. Then a cake, Kiola Therum Aragana, nothing like Therum Aragana, over the matter, Mamma Atherum among gather in name, Mamma retired me. My mom retired to Nata, Mamma. Are Adambring Candy, Bank of Sonic in Amma, People Bank in Am, Copshire, NTB, Hammer Bank cake was Ampas in Amma. Circular got down, may my phone together. A half of common circular, am I? Even the Matador enemy, is even other academy, whatever other than that, they like Evala Ragala again, sir. Tagala, may circular. So put up Paranda Wand, the power in that make a hand. Then power in that make a theorem color, then the Anota Tarika Tavilla. Araga delete. Make a delete to the The Madap make a theorem Aragana, theorem Kerala, I remind the theorem color in Anota, Penica. Evagi Ahmed and one and other Bacteria on that car. Today's paper, people have imported during that period 300 luxury vehicles, cars, 300 luxury cars and jeeps from UK and German and other countries. 300. So, Koma Rajasante Kalaki, other Bacteria, Koma Rajasante Kalaki. Rajasante Kalati of Pahitani, they are not available. For a parang it, you know. Can happen with some idea, you know. Now, here we are here. We have manipulate they make a government regulation. That is important. Then, the Rangam, Master Mama, no. What do you get out of this? If what do you get out of suddenly given the value. Because of the government actions. Government stopped the payments. Right? They said no side payments. It has to be 90 days users. 90 days users, 90 days DA, no side payments. Arminia Badueva price Kaladine, site price second. Site price second, even the invoice second, you want to put an invoice second. You can ask her, invoice second, you want to. Invoice second, you want Mama Committee or Committee. I say, Mamma, Mama, I'm taking Mama, not a order or a given. You want to bury them? You want to bury them, Mamma. And it's in the Apilkuma Monument. Lanka, bad naming it up. Capital. Instead of taking business calendar, maybe among the Ramadan, Peta market ticket, Alalu market ticket, Mama. Very okay. Consumables marketing, then the value we check out. And you should then we are in Aramia moves okay. He only alay he can have one day at Gala, Santigan. 90 days in the day. 90 days I come here for clear over in that day. And only perishable items, they get perished. Right? Those are issues in international trade. Right? Those are issues. Then, from that one, delay करना है. Have government actions. uneligible. So again, still I can remember that this happened in 2000, early 2000. You must have heard about General Musharraf. General Musharraf. How they? Go ahead, President. Huh? Pakistan. He is the president of Pakistan. He came to Sri Lanka in 2000 or 2001 or 2002, whether I was thinking, he came to Sri Lanka as the general of Pakistan Army commander. And former guard of honor sailor, until the last guard of honor, meet there while going to Karachi or Rawalpindi, Lahore, meet there, he ran a coup and toppled the government. Government in India, stuff like that. Other huh? Other. Huh? Nawaz Sharif. Perfect. Nawaz Sharif is the way it is. Which are high grade Nawaz Sharif. Java clearly got that. I don't know. Lankavin here, General Musharraf. Now ruling let's say president area. Kita jangan kita pandang pernah langkah apa kita dia. Kalau mungkin tahu dah dia. Let's say president. What he did was not like our people. We have seen so much of regime changes in Sri Lanka, right? When you make a monk, you can record it now. When you are having physical classes, you are free. I can talk anything. I can discuss anything with you. Right? Which you learn about Lanka Purama and the Maginamatya and the rest. You can have all virtual classes. Roglanda, Kelimar, Bokadam, then the way. Kelimar, Buhoma. Amat may never take it up with the Yanabata, unfortunately. Because in a Muhammad tree, what he did was immediately for 2 weeks he imposed a moratorium for all the outward remittances. Moratorium blocker. He put a moratorium for all the outward remittances. No remittances from the country. එතකොට කාටවත් අර නවාස් ෂෙරිෆ්ට එයාගේ ටීම් එකටයි එන්ජොයි එලට එකතු කරන් හිටියේ සල්ලි ටික ස්විට්සර්ලන්ඩ් වලට අරකට මේවට බහමාස් වලට පන්නන්න බැරි වුණා. කොම් බ්ලොක් කරගන්න. ඒ අතර ඔක්කොම ටික අරගත්තා. අපෙත් මෙහෙම වෙනවා අපෙත් ආණ්ඩු කරනුනාම කොහොම ටික යවන්න ඇරලා ඊට පස්සේ බ්ලොක් කරනවා. මාසයක් දෙකක් දෙනවා යවන්න ඇරලා ඊට පස්සේ කමිෂන් එකක් දානවා. The working actions are normal. The buyer and the seller, they are helpless because of the government actions. Right? Okay. Then, why do countries trade? Right? Why do countries trade? here, වැඩි කරන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. මම මෙතනින් එහාට මම ස්කිප් කරනවා ඉන්ටර්නැෂනල් ට්‍රේඩ් අර තියරි පාර්ට් එකට එනකම් පොඩි යන්න. මේ විදිහට දැන් ඉන්ටරැක්ෂන් එක ඇති දැන්. මේව කොහොම ඔයගොල්ලෝ postgraduate class එකේ ඉන්නේ වැඩි හරියක් ඩිග්‍රීස් කරලා graduates lah, ඒවා මේ ඔක්කොම කරලා තියෙන account වලට ඒ ඔක්කොම කරලා තියෙනවා. නැත්නම් මතක් කරගෙන ඉවත් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. අනිත් ගොඩක් ඒවා ඇතුළට යන්නේ නැහැ. We all know there's a specialization and division of labor, right? And every country is not self-sufficient. Every country is not self-sufficient. We have heard few years back, long years back, Mahavansa and all, they say we were self-sufficient one time during the Parakram Bhav's era and all. We were self-sufficient. We have exported rice to other countries. Myanmar, China, Burma, rice, everything. Export karna. We were self-sufficient. Again, right? But even those days, there were international trade in Sri Lanka. Even during that era, there were international trade. Traders were coming to Sri Lanka for trade. Elephant tusk, ivory වලට කඩේට ආවා. ඊගවට gems, right? ඔයගේ ඒවට එනවා. Then horses වලට හරියටම ආපිකා. class. Right? horse traders are ලංකාවට ආපු ලොකුම horse trader කෙනෙක් නේ. කාලයක් යනකොට ලංකාවේ රජුරුතුනේ එලාර ඉංග්‍රීසි was horse trader. He came to Sri Lanka for trading horses. We had international trade. Right? So අපිට කොහෙවත් මේ ඉතාලිය නම්මාවේ self sufficient country එකක්. ලෝකේ තියෙනවා දෙකක්. දැන් ඔබට මතකයි හිතන විදිහට කාගේවත් යැපෙන්නේ නැතුව තනියෙන් ජීවත් වෙන country එකක්. එකක් කියන්න බෑ. Cuba. Right. Cubans are they born in they born. Actually, sometimes make a coffee away. Coffee is on. Tea, nothing done. Right? When you go up here, Latin, because of the revolution, we say they are on their own now. Even North Korea, right? Local country self-sufficient. Everybody will be depending on the others. Right? Everybody will be depending on the others. Right? Even the towns and cities are not normally self-sufficient. Towns, cities are there. But the main town is self-sufficient town. Even here, right? Political impetus from development of free trade areas by NAFTA, SLP, WTO, SAARC, free trade organizations, multilateralism, then Gila. I'm a country the concept of absolute advantage and comparative advantage in international trade. There were two concepts in international trade. One is absolute advantage theory. It was by Adam Smith in 1776, right? And the theory of comparative advantage and cost by David Ricardo and others in 1870. He had a group. That's why I said they will record another, right? Then Haberler, opportunity cost theory was introduced by Haberler. Also, the theories of international trade were ending, right? Theory of absolute advantage. Roughly one kilogram. Each country has their own advantage of producing particular goods as opposed to another. Sri Lanka has absolute advantage of producing tea, while Canada has for wheat and Caribbean has for banana. We have the absolute advantage of producing tea. In Canada, there's no tea. We export tea to Canada, right? But Canada, they produce wheat. We import wheat from Canada. And Caribbean islands, they are famous for bananas, plantains. Right? They have a contract with Tiano. Though Sri Lanka can grow sugar cane, it has been proved that importing sugar from Brazil or Singapore is much cheaper. That's also true. Right? We have sugar companies. But producing sugar here is more costly than importing sugar. But our president is now trying his best. Well, that's the way we have to do. One day we have to be self-sufficient. At least we must reduce imports, right? We must reduce imports, discourage imports, and produce much as possible from our own country, right? But at the moment, we are importing sugar, cheap sugar from Brazil, rather than producing it here. Right? Why this is happening is mainly because of the climatic conditions, climatic changes, natural resources, expertise. Right? For example, we take two countries like Sri Lanka and Singapore. Two countries like Sri Lanka and Singapore. Sri Lanka and Singapore in the same line something. Right? මේ වගේමයි weather එක climate එක පයින්නවා පායනවා සැනිසරේ වයි පැස්සෙනවා මේ විදිහටමයි සිංගප්පූර් ලංකාව වගේමයි කිසිම වෙනසක් නැහැ වැඩි හීතල නැහැ රස්නේ නැහැ මෙහෙමයි. But if you take these two countries and if you take for example paddy cultivation, which country has the advantage over the others? Paddy cultivation. Which country has the advantage over the others? Over the other country? Sri Lanka and Singapore. Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka. Why? Area is big. Very good. Land. Another? No. No. Labor. Skill labor. We have skill labor. We have skill labor. අපේ ගොවියෝ ඒකට සිංගප්පූරුවට කියලා බැරි කමන්නේ. අන්තිමට බයිනවා. මෙලට බයි. නමුත් අපි ගානක් experience. නමුත් irrigation. Very good. Very good. Irrigation. We have an irrigation system. Right? Whereas in Singapore, they don't have the irrigation system. So because of that, we have the absolute advantage over the other people, right? Tables in my For example, wheat, hours to produce 1 ton. To produce 1 ton of wheat, how many hours? Man hours. Man hours will take. And cars, hours to produce 1 car. For example, UK, they take 300 man hours. They take 300 man hours to produce 1 ton of wheat. Whereas they take 150 hours to produce 1 car. Okay? In Canada, they take 200 hours. They take 200 hours to produce 1 ton of wheat. Then who has advantage of producing wheat? Canada or UK? Huh? How again? මේ virtual class එකට තමයි. දැන් මේක මෙහෙම නම් virtual class එකේ කොහොමද වෙන්නේ නැහැ මලාට කතා කරන්නේ. right මම virtual class වලට එපා ගන්න තියෙන එකයි මේ මලාට කතා කරන්නේ. ඉතින් මම 10 පාරක් විතර අහන්න ඕන අපරාධ time waste වෙනවා. right Canada they have the advantage over the other country UK. When producing cars UK has the advantage. ඉතින් මෙහෙම තියෙද්දි is it profitable for UK to produce wheat? UK wheat produce කරන්නේ නැත්තම් මොකද වෙන්නේ? මේ man hours දාලා කාර් කීයක් හදන්න පුළුවන්ද? How many cars they can make? Huh? 2 cars. Additional 2 cars, right? මෙතන එක කාර් එකක් හදනවා. Additional 2 cars හදන්න. Canada, they produce wheat as well as producing 1 car. එහෙමනම් මේගොල්ලන්ට ලේසි wheat මේ එක අර වැඩිපුර හදපු කාර් එකෙන් එකක් දීලා කැන්ඩවලට ඕනේ එක කාර් එකයිනේ. ඒ කාර් එකට 250ක් යනවානේ man hours. ඒ 250 අතෙන්ට දැම්මොත් Canada will produce about 1.25 වගේ නේද? 1.25 වගේ wheat අලුතෙන් හදනවා. ඒතර ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඕන නම් 1.25 වලින් 1 ton දීලා කාර් එකකට ගන්න පුළුවන්. තවත් 0.25 ඉතුරු වෙනවා අපි වගේ දුප්පත් රටකට විකුණන්න. තවත් 0.25 ඉතුරු වෙනවා. තවත් රටකට විකුණන්න. right? UK will they can exchange 1 car with Canada and they will have 1 more car for them to sell it to some other country. Right? It's much cheaper. ඉතින් ඔය පැත්ත තමයි අපි ඔයලා බලන්න ඕනේ. right මම මේ ටික මම ස්කිප් කරලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ නෝට් එක තියලා නෝට් එක බලලා ඉලා පොඩ්ඩක් මම නෙවෙයි ඒක ක්ලාස් එකේ පොඩි බලා ගන්න මේ ටික මෙතෙන් දාගන්න. Other economic factors affecting international trade. The economic factors affecting international trade. Variation of resources in countries, variation of technology, scientific knowledge, then change of preference, specialization, size of country, geographical situation of country, structure of the market. The geographical situation of the country is a very important thing, and the climatic things. That just imagine when you take tea, producing tea, which area in Sri Lanka are famous for tea production? Upcountry, cold area. It has to be hilly, cold. What about Country like New Zealand, really cold. Nowhere wagema cold thing. But can they grow tea? No. Why the man? Tapi very sedih. New Zealand tadi kita apa yang ini? Tea well. Right. Now we see who are the parties involved in international trade operations. Who are the parties involved in international trade operations? One is buyer, another one is seller. Seller is the one who will produce the goods and sell. Then manufacturers. Seller is the one who is producing the goods and manufacture the goods and sell. But in certain cases, if the seller does not make his own goods, there will be a manufacturer. There will be a manufacturer. Manufacturer will mean no. Seller will mean no. Take for an example, brandish. Ada corona hadla dinne brandish එක ළමයට තමයි දන්නේ. මට ආරංචි ආවේ විදිහට brandish එක ළමයෙක් ඉන්නවා. සෑහෙන මේ පාරෙල්ල આવොත් නම් පොතෝ ගොඩ එන්න නම් බෑ. මටලම තමයි අපිට යන්න වෙන්නේ. Last week, I was in Dubai. Two of my staff members, both Sri Lankans, two of my staff members died in Dubai. Until you can another career. In the message check करते ना, you are having all color. So I can't talk. I can't talk. My voice is not coming. In those, there was a ventilator in the man. And when I began in a department, I got you. My department came then. Again, the mega dangerous. So Brandix is not manufacturing. Some other companies are manufacturing. And they are sellers. They buy from the manufacturers and sell it. Right? Shipping companies or airline companies. Why shipping companies or airline companies? We need shipping companies or airline companies for transportation of goods from one place to the other. Right? Agents. Agents also was one of the parties in international trade operations. Now, for example, Abans. They are the agents for LG. SoftLogic. They are the agents for Samsung. Singer. They are the agents for some other brands. Right? Abans like that, Innovex kila gatte na. Innovex, eklang ada ne. Dambro ne. Dambro yanne Innovex. Right? ඔබලා දන්නවද ඔක්කොම හදන එකම තියෙන එකම කම්පැනි එකේ නා. එකම කම්පැනි හදන නම් ටිකක් ගහලා එවනවා. Innovex කියලා ගහලා දම්රොට එවනවා. LG කියලා ගහලා අබාන්සට හදනවා. ඔක්කොම අස්සන්ට එවනවා. එකම කම්පැනි හදන්නේ සිංගලකට. එහෙමයි. ඕන නේම් එකෙන් දැන් සිංගල් නොට් ගහලා එවනවා. Right? The agents now who represent either the buyer or the seller overseas. Shipping registries. What is shipping registries? To ensure that the carrying which ship is seaworthy. Very important. Every ship, carrying ship, should be seaworthy. Seaworthy can? What do you mean by seaworthy? should be able to sail without any issues, right? Normally, when we open LCs, we mention the age of the ship. The ship should be less than 15 years or 20 years. Right? Ogulanga vayasa ships nae. Ape vayasa ships ඇත්තම නෑ. අපේ වයසේ තියෙන දැන් ටයිටැනික් වගේ ඒවා. right? දැන් ඒ වගේ ships වල දැන් බඩු පටවන්නේ නෑ. දැන් අපේ වයසේ ships වල තමයි ඉන්දියාවේ ඉඳන් ලංකාවට ඩියුටි කරන ඉඳන් කොළඹට පැය කමාරි දෙකේ දවස් එකමාරි ගමන් තියෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේ ඒවා. ඈත ඒවට අපි බලන්නේ 15 years 20 years. හරි important. ඒ ඔක්කොම තියෙන්නේ shipping registries. Right? So shipping registries that ensure the carrying ship is seaworthy. Then Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce is also very important. They are the people who will issue certificate of origin. What do you mean by certificate of origin? Certificate of origin? What is that? Another. Certificate of origin කියන්නේ අපි සිංහලෙන් කියන්නේ ප්‍රභවස්ථාන සහතිකය කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ කොහෙද ප්‍රභවය කොහෙද origin එක. Now, for example, we'll take Nokia phones. If you want to buy a genuine Nokia phone, what should be the country of origin? Huh? And Hungary, Hungaria or Hungaria, and there's another country, Finland or Hungary. Finland or Hungary තමයි අපි genuine කියලා ගන්න. නැත්නම් Nokia ගහනවා අපිටත් Nokia ගහනවා ඕන තරම් චයිනා, තායිවාන්, ඉන්දියා, දුබායි හැමදැනම ගහනවා Nokia. කාටත් Nokia එක ගහනවා. ඒවත් Nokia. අර වෙනසක් හොයන්න බෑ. But if you want to buy the original Nokia, then you have to ask for a certificate of origin. Then you have to ask for a certificate of origin. Right? So, एक issue करने Chamber of Commerce. Banks, of course, they are the people who participate in most trade transactions to some extent, from full finance to the processing of simple remittances. The banks are playing a major role because everybody, the buyer and the seller, they both want financing for the international trade operation. They want financing. Because of that, they go to the banks and ask for loans and facilities, right? And they are the people whom can be trusted by both buyer and the seller. Then that trust කරන්න පුළුවන් intermediary party එක තමයි banks. Sure, අනිත්‍යයි sure නැහැ. Right? ඒතර ඒගොල්ලන් තමයි එන්නේ. හොඳ වෙලාවට ඒක උනේ නැහැ. ඒක නැත්නම් අපිට job එකකුත් නැහැ. නේද? නැත්නම් අපිට job එකකුත් නැහැ. තාම මොනවාද ඉන්නේ කට්ටිය? තව ඊට අමතරව තව කට්ටියක් ඉන්න මට මේක විශ්වාස තියෙනවා. Lawyers නම් මොකටද දෙන්නේ? වැඩි අප්සෙට් කරන නඩු දාන්නද? නෑ. මොකටද lawyers like? every transaction, international trade transaction, there's a buyer, there's a seller. Between this buyer and the seller, we have a sales contract. We have a sales contract. This sales contract is a legal document. Then the lawyers are the people who will prepare this sales contract. You and me can't prepare this contract, right? So that contractual part is done by the lawyer, right? ඒක හරියට තිබුණොත් තමයි මේ transaction එක හරියට යන්න පුළුවන්. Then we will see what are the main objectives of the parties to a transaction. Main objectives of the parties to a transaction. Right? What are the buyer's objectives? What are the buyer's objectives? Contract fulfillment. Contract fulfillment is one of the buyer's objectives. Right? Now it says to receive correct quantity and quality of the goods purchased. To receive correct quantity and quality of the goods purchased. That is one of the concerns the buyer is having. When they order certain goods, they want to have the correct quantity and the correct quality. Right? එකක් අපි order කරනවා නම් අපි මට ඕන ඒ කාර් එකේ specifications ගානටම ඕන. color එක මොනවාද power mirror, power shutters, තියෙනවනේ rear cameras, right? Reverse cameras. Romeo අපි ඉල්ලනවා. ඒවා අපිට ගන්නට එන්න ඕන. right? ඒ qualities ඒ විදිහම තියෙන්න ඕන. අපි ඉල්ලනවා නම් setup එක ආයෙත් ඉතින් setup එක අපි කියනවා නම් මේ මොනවාරි boss හරි මොනවාරි වෙනම brand එකක් අපි කියනවා නම් මේක මට ඕනයි කියලා මගේ ඊළඟ මම order කරන vehicle එකේ ඒක ඒ quality එකටම තියෙන්නත් ඕන. ඒක එක objective. To receive in a timely manner and at the correct place. To receive in a timely manner and the correct place. When you order certain goods, you have to receive it in the timely manner. Within that time. Right? At the correct place. Right? Timely manner is very important. Now, for example, now in Sri Lanka, we manufacture garments. We manufacture garments, right? අපිට මෙහෙම ගත්තොත් එහෙම winter clothes. We manufacture winter clothes for UK. UK වල දින ලොකුම Marks and Spencer වගේ ලොකු Harrods වගේ ලොකු companies වලට winter clothes හදන්න මේ හම්බන්තොට නාරම්බන කුරුණෑගල ඒ පැත්තේ factories වල හදන්නේ අපේ ළමයි අපේ සහෝදරයෝ right ඉතින් ඒක හදලා අපි winter clothes වලට අපිට දැන් order එකක් ඇවිල්ලා winter clothes when we are sending the winter clothes we have not sent it in time. By the time we send the winter clothes to UK, winter has over and now the summer is there. Now the summer period. Is there any use of sending the winter clothes? Nothing. Summer again winter clothes are in there. It's a killer balai. Right? ඒකම දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ they can and use it for next week. එමත් පුළුවන් නේ. මේ අපි එකක් ගෙනහම ඒක ගත්තාම මේ ෂර්ට් එක ගත්තාම ඉතින් ඉරිලා ගෑලි යනකනුත් අපි අඳිනවා. අපිට ජර්සි එකක් තියනවා තියෙන එකම ජර්සි එකයි තියෙන එක සූට් එකක් ගන්නවා සූට් එක වෙඩින්ග්ස් 10කට දාලා පෙට්ටියටත් ගන්නවා. පෙට්ටියේ ඒ සූට් එකම අඳිනවා. ඒක ඉතිවරයි. අර මිනිස්සුන්ගේ නෑ. වින්ටර් ක්ලෝත්ස් කියන්නේ මේ සීසන් එකේ වින්ටර් ක්ලෝත්ස් එන්නේ බ්ලූ කලර් නම් නෙක්ස්ට් සීසන් එක පර්පල් කලර්. ඒතර මේක නෙක්ස්ට් සීසන් එකේදී බ්ලූ කලර් වින්ටර් ක්ලෝත්ස් දාන පාරේ යනකොට දන්නවා මේ ගිය අවුරුදු දෙකක් තමයි මේක ඇඳගෙන යන්නේ කියලා. ඒක උනන්න බෑ. So timely manner is very, very important, right? And the correct place. Correct place කියන එකත් හරියටම තියෙනවා හරියටම correct place එක. මගේ ගෝලයක් මගේ ඩිපාර්ට්මන්ට් එකේ එකපාරක් මට මතකයි ડોකියුමන්ට්ස් එකක් ඇව්වා. Documents should go to Tanzania. This guy has sent it to Tunisia. මලාට අර මිනිස්සුන්ට බඩු ක්ලියර් කරගන්න පුළුවන් ડોකියුමන්ට්ස් එක අතට. ඒ ડોකියුමන්ට්ස් ටැන්සානියා වලට බඩු ගියාට ටැන්සානියා වලට ડોකියුමන්ට්ස් එක ගන්න ඒක ටියුනිසියා කියලා. මම ඔගේ තාගල ලැබුවා මම නම් කියන ලංකාව නෙවෙයි ඩුබායි වලදී. ලංකාවම ගොල්ලෝ එක නම් කියන සර් එක රට එක නෙවෙයිද? ටියුනිසියා ටැන්සානියා අපේ මිනිස්සුන්ගේ common sense තමයි. right? ටියුනිසියා ටැන්සානියා කියන රටවල් දෙකක්නේ. then here එන්නේ නැහැ. correct place කියන එක very important. ඊගාවට assurance that he does not have to pay the seller until he is certain that the seller has fulfilled his obligations correctly. Assurance that he does not have to pay the seller until he is satisfied. ඒකේ යගේ concern එක. right? ඔයා සල්ලි දෙන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා බලන්න. Credit part එක. ණය පැත්තේ. He should manage, he wants to, one of his objectives is to manage the cash flow with the possibility of obtaining bank finance. That's what he wants. Or to defer payment as long as possible. Okay, තමයි buy කෙනෙක්ට ඕනම දේ. To defer payment as long as possible. To delay the payment as long as possible. Right? ඔගොල්ලෝ ණය දුන්නාම කාට හරි right පඩි දවසට මෑන් මිසින් නේද? ඔෆිස් එකේ කියන ණය දුන්නොත් පඩි දවසට මෑන් මිසින්. මොකද එයාට ඕනේ to defer the payment. මාසෙන් දෙන්නම් කියලා ගන්නෙ. නමුත් මාසෙන් දෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඉලාස්ටික් වගේ එක තමයි දෙනවා. තව මාස දෙක තුන හතර. පුළුවන් තරම් ඩිලේ කරන්න බලන්න. ගන්නකොට එහෙමයි. right? ඒ වගේම තමයි බයට. Convenience. You can intervene in third party in whom both buyer and the seller have confidence. That's the bad. Now we'll see what are the seller's objective. Those are buyer's objective. The seller's objective is assurance that he will be paid in full within the agreed time limit. Right? Seller told him, salary. Buyer told him, delay. Because to deliver the contracted goods or services as quickly as possible. For a seller, when he gets an order, he wants to finish it off and send the goods as early as possible. Because he wants the money. He doesn't want to drag. Right? Prompt payment. He wants from, he doesn't want dragging the money. I don't want dragging Tankaran. I mean, they cannot want to drag Karan. Right? To receive payment of the correct amount and in the correct currency. He wants to have the correct amount and correct currency. And for example, shipment to UK, the UK guy wants money in GBP, not in Sri Lanka rupees, right? Correct currency. And for them also, convenience of having anti-military party, whom these two parties can trust. Buyers and sellers, that is none other than banks, right? Then we have to discuss some more things. External factors faced in international trade markets. External factors faced in international trade markets, right? We call it Pester model. We call it Pester model. A factors together. One is political, the second one is economic, third one is social, technological, environmental, and legal. Pester. For this we call it Pester model. Right? A Pester model could discuss external factors. Make a Pester model question elaborate right? Then, for example, political. To what extent are the countries influenced by multilateral or bilateral agreement? What do you mean by bilateral agreement? What do you mean by bilateral agreement? Between two countries. Multilateral? More than two countries. More than two countries. Singular word again. Dviparshika, Bahupashika. Dviparshika, Bahupashika. Right? Any historical relationship between the countries that would benefit or hinder the relationship. Any historical relationship between the countries. International trade, external factors. Right? Now, countries like Sri Lanka and India, you have historical relationship. Then, what is the political regime of the country? Another factor. Right? Now, because of the political regime, some people doesn't want to deal with that particular country. Right? If it's a Soviet bloc, or capital country, Soviet bloc, a communist country. Does the domestic country have any sanctions in place with the country where the business wishes to trade? Does the domestic country have any sanctions in place with the country where the business wishes to trade? Any sanctions? Here one example there. Sanctioned country again. Iran, very good. Now country. North Korea. Good. Huh? And Turkey. Turkey, Tribunal. Huh? How zero? Turkey, Tribunal, Turkey, Iran, Argulawage, UN sanction, other term, then in a Ardigan, Atarin money, US. Earlier we had Cuba, like Cuba there. Right? somewhat of countries are African countries. Ivory Coast, European countries, sanctions countries. Right? And the economy. Is the country affected by high level of industrial growth? Is the country affected by high level of industrial growth? Then what is the impact of currency fluctuations between the two countries? Right? What is the impact of currency fluctuations between the two currencies? ඒකත් වැදගත්. දැන් අපි ඩොලර්ස් එක කරනවා නම් ඩොලර්ස් වල කොහොමද fluctuations යන්නේ? Okay? Do the two countries share the same currency or their currencies pegged? Do the two countries share the same currency? For example, European Union countries, Germany, France, Italy, they use the same currency. Earlier, they used different currencies. French, German marks, right? And then Italian lira. Then ඔක්කොම පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ එකම currency, euro. එතකොට no fluctuations. It is cheaper for them to do transactions. Or currency is pegged. What do you mean by currency is pegged? What do you mean by currency is pegged? What do you mean by pegging? Were you a girl guide during school time? Can you Boy Scouts? No? Scouting කරපු කට්ටිය? No, they can't. ඊගාට අහන ප්‍රශ්න මොකක්ද දන්නේ නැති නේ ඒකත් කියන්නේ නැහැ. මම දන්නවා බාගෙට ඉස්කෝලේ ගර්ල් ගයිඩ් කෙනෙක් ළඟ නොයිට් ගෑන් ළමයි හොයාගන්න අමාරුයි. හරි. මේ ස්කවුට් කෙනෙක් ළඟ YouTube ඩිපෙන්ඩන්ට් ළමයි හොයන්න තමයි. මිනි වර්ණයව නෙමෙයි අහන්නේ. ඒ උත්තර දෙන්නේ නැහැ. right? ඔගොල්ලෝ ටෙන්ස් ගන්නවා නේද? මේ කැම්ප් ගියාම කැම්ප් එකේ ටෙන්ට් එක ගහනවා. ටෙන්ට් එක ගහලා ටෙන්ට් එක මේන් පෝල් එක දාලා දෙපැත්තට අපි ඇදලා මොනවද කරන්නේ අර නඩු වලින් මේ කෝඩ් එක ගාලා ඇදලා පෙග් එක ගහනවා නේ. ඇදේට කුඤ්ඤ ගහනවා. කුඤ්ඤ ගහනවානේ කුඤ්ඤ ගහන. කුඤ්ඤට පටලවන ගන්න. පෙගි කියන්නේ ඒකයි. කුඤ්ඤ ගහන අපි කරන්සි එක කුඤ්ඤ ගහලා තියාගන්නවා. එහාට පැට හෙල්ලෙන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි එක කුඤ්ඤයක් ගැරවුණොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? ටෙන්ට් එක අනිත් පැත්තට පාර වෙනවා. දෙකක් ගැලවුණොත් එහෙම ඉතින් ඩියුටම් හදාගන්න. පෙගි එකේදී එන්නේ අනික හතර වටේටම පෙග් කරනවා. යන්නේ. For example, dollar and US dollar and UAE dirhams. Dubai, UAE dirhams again. UAE dirhams is pegged. Change in name. When I first joined HSBC, that was in 1997. Dollar dirhams was 3.66. $1 was equals to 3.66 dirhams. After I left Dubai, that was after 10 years, in 2007, at that time when I was leaving Dubai, the currency was $1 equals to 3.66. Okay. Uncanny. Onge kaya වෙනකොට කොහොමද ගියේ 2009 වලදී 107 වලට තිබුණ ඩොලර් එක අද වෙනකොට අවුරුදු 11කදී 185 right ඉච්චටම ෆ්ලක්චුවේට් කරලා තරක පෙක් කරලා තියෙනවා ඒක වෙනස් කරන්නේ ඒ කන්ට්‍රි එකට උනින් නෙමෙයි ඇමරිකාවට ඇමරිකන්ස්ලා ඒක තියාගෙන ඉන්නේ මොකද තෙල් ටික ගන්න ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ බලයටනේ ඒගොල්ලෝ තියාගෙන ඉන්නේ not only UAE all the oil countries right Saudi Qatar Oman Bahrain ඔක්කොම මේකට තියාගෙන ඉන්නේ ඒක කරලා ඉන්නේ oil ගන්න right level of inflation between two countries. Level of inflation between two countries. That's also another part. Employment level of two countries. Right? You want to explain that? Social. Are there any religious or cultural differences? Will language be a barrier? Are negotiation styles between two countries different? All those things are social factors, right? Religious or cultural differences between Saudi and Sri Lanka, cultural differences, religious differences, right? Will language be a barrier? Arabic kapi danne, apne barrier ka kala thine for negotiations. English nattang apita karaganne vidiyak naha. Right? Are negotiation styles between the two countries different? Negotiation styles. Forget. අපි අර මේකට කරන්නේ එක්ස්පෝස් වෙලා තියෙන හින්දා හැමදැනටම අපි දන්නවා කොහොමද කියලා මිඩල් ඊස්ට් වලදී ජෝර්ඩානියන්ස්ලා ලෙබනීස්ලා ඇවිල්ලා අපිත් එක බැංක් එකේ කතා කරනකොට කතා කරන්නේ මේසෙට ගහලා ටාන් ගාලා මේසෙට ගහනවා එක්කෝ මොකක් හරි කියලා පුටුවෙන් නැගිටලා පොළොවට ගහනවා අපිට හිතන්නේ උඹට ගහයි කියලා ඊට පස්සේ මොකද ඒක නිකන් අපිට නිකන් ඉන්සල්ට් එකක් වගේ නේ නිකන් සාප කරනවා වගේ වැඩක් නේ නමුත් අපි දන්නවා ඒක ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ ස්ටයිල් එක ඊළඟ negotiation style එක මේසට අයියෙන් ගහලා අයියෙන් කතා කරලා කරගමන් අපි වගේ කොහොම timid කට්ටිය මොකද කරන්නේ we giving අපි giving කරනවා බයයි නේද ඊකට මොකක්ද යනවද දන්නේ නැහැ ඒකෙන් අපි giving කරනවා ඒ styles වෙනස් වෙනවා wow international factors right negotiation Americans like this, no, bully karna. Americans, they are bullying. Like negotiation style, you do this, that's it. No arguments, nothing. Right? Either you do it or go, finish. Right? Those are negotiation styles. Technological. How can a company protect copyright or intellectual property rights? Right? Does the country have certain safety standards that must be adhered to? Maybe important whether a safety standard is done, then we have international business. Safety standards. Environment. Some countries demand that goods they consume are produced in an environmentally friendly manner. Some countries demand. The Americans fix කට්ටියම ඒව ඩිමාන්ඩ් කරනවා ඒගොල්ලෝ. environmentally friendly වෙන්න ඕන. ඒක නේ චයිනා වලින් සමහර වෙලාවට බඩු ගන්නේ නැතුව ඇමරිකන්ස්ලා ඩිමාන්ඩ් කරන්නේ. ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන චයිල්ඩ් ලේබර් එකක් වගේ දේවල් එනවා. Right? Then policies of the countries on climate change and global warming. Policies of the countries on climate change and global warming. මේවා international trade වලට බලපාන්නේ. For example, HSBC Bank, still we don't open LCs for loans. No, loans කියන්නේ. මොනවද loans කියන්නේ? firewood මේ පුතේ මේ ලී කොට කියන්නකෝ. ලී කොට import කරන්න අපි LC සරින්නේ නැහැ. HSBC එක. Why? That's our company policy. මොකද company policy එක firewood මේ logs අපි handle කරන්නේ නැත්තේ. When we fell down trees, that will affect the global warming. Right? බලන්න කොච්චර ඒගොල්ලෝ හිතනවාද කියලා. ඒබස් බැංක් අප්ස්ලා නම් ඕන තරම් අරනවා. ලී කොට නෙමෙයි ලී කඳම් පිටින්ම ඕන එකක් ගේන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් අපි මැලේසියා වලින් ගේනවනේ. මැලේසියා වලින් ඒ කඳම් අපි ඒවා ගේනවනේ. ඒවා අපි අරිනවා. නමුත් HSBC කරන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ ලී කැපුවාම ගස් කැපුවාම global warming එකට ඒක බලපානවා. ඒකෙන් අපි කරන්නේ. බැංකුවට පාඩේ. නමුත් that's their policies. Right? Any policies on protecting the environment? What are the policies on child labor? Okay, child labor. China වල තිබුණ ලොකුම allegation එක තමයි child labor. කලින් සෝවියට් රෂ්‍යාව වල තිබුණ allegation එක child labor. දැන් ඒක ඔක්කොම ඒගොල්ලෝ sort out කරගෙන තියෙනවා. ඒ countries. Different laws between the countries. Employment laws of certain countries. For example, minimum wage or number of hours worked. Kumbalna. Abi නොවිතන පැති. ලොකු රටවල් ඇමරිකා ආරම්භ අපිත් එක්ක වැඩ කරන බිස්නස් කරද්දී ඒගොල්ලෝ බලනවා ලංකාවේ මිනිමම් වේජ් එකක් ගෙවනවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ මොකටද අපේම. නමුත් ඒගොල්ලෝ බලන්න මිනිමම් වේජ් එකක් කරනවා. right child labor තියෙනවද? එතකොට number of hours work right right දැන් ඔය ටික අපි external factors අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තා tester තියෙන එක මම ගොඩක් ලාට ඔයගොල්ලොත් එක්ක trade කරන්නේ ඒක තමයි තේරෙනවා දැන් මම කරන system එක ලේසිද ඔයගොල්ලන්ට what do you think about the method of teaching because the thing is since this is a new subject and a little bit of technical thing my way of giving the knowledge is through storytelling. පුළුවන්තරම් අපි අනම්මනම් කතා කළාට ඒ අනම්මනම් කතා කළා ඒ කරන එකෙන් මම ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ තියරි එකට දාලා තියෙන්නේ. right? හැබැයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා අපේ චූටි කාලේ අපේ ආච්චිලා සීයලා once upon a time කියලා අපිට ගන්නපු කතන්දර තාම මතකයි. ඊයේ පෙරේද කියන ඒවා ඊයේ ළඟදී කියපු නවල් එකක්වත් අපිට මතකෙට ඉන්නේ නැහැ. අර මේවා ස්ටෝරි ටෙලිං ගොඩක් ඒවා අපිට මතකයි තාම. ඉතින් ඒ ස්ටෝරි ටෙලිං විදියට ගියාම හරි ලේසි. දැන් අමාරු සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකක් බේසික් ඉගෙන ගන්න. ටිකක් ස්ටෝරීස් වගේ ඉන්න. හැබැයි ඒකේ ස්ටෝරි කියලා අයින් කරලා තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒකෙම important ideas. right ඉතුරුයකට යමු. මට ටිකක් අමාරුයි කතා කරලා අපි පොඩි චූටි රෙස්ට් එකක් ගමු 10 minutes වලට. This time, central bank report, I think it's publishing internet එකේ publish කරලා තියෙනවානේ. අරගෙන පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්න මේ මටත් මේක දැන් හම්බුනේ. මේ මට හම්බුනේ සිංහල එක. ඉංග්‍රීසි එකත් ඇති උගන්න ඕන වෙයි. විශේෂ සටහන කියන්නේ තොර පිටිපස්සේ ඇති supplements දාලා ඇති report එකේ මරු ආටිකල් එකක් තියෙනවා COVID-19 and challenges to Sri Lanka and how it has affected our national economy. Independent questions නේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඔය පැත්තට මේක trade finance වලට නෙමෙයි වෙන උගන්ත වෙන පැත්තකට එන්න නම් forget about the questions. As bankers, especially as bankers, we should know. මම ගොඩක් ළමයි දන්නවා අපේ කට්ටිය ඔය හොඳට මම දන්නා ඔය මම ළමයි එක්ක කතා කරද්දී එනවා when you are bankers, right? If you go to one of your relations, wedding or parties or whatever, uncle's name or අමල්ලාට තාත්තලා එහෙම ලොකුට කියවනවානේ මගේ දුව දැන් බැංකුවේනේ මේ එහෙමනේ ඔෆිස් එකේ ඉන්න අරගෙන මේකද ලොකු පඬිතුකම් පුරුසාරම කිව්වට පස්සේ අර හොඳට දැනුගත් අංකල් කෙනෙක් නම් ඇවිල්ලා ප්‍රශ්න අහුවොත් තමයි කියලා වෙලා යන්නේ. ඒද මම දෙවියන් භාෂාවෙන් කියන්නේ නේද? ඔයගොල්ලෝ තේරෙන භාෂාවයි. මේකෙන්ද හරි පරිස්සම් එන්න ඕන ඔය වගේ දේවල් දැනගන්න. ඇහුවොත් එම what do you think about how COVID-19 has affected our economy and what are the impacts of it? Level tema. Karena itu nekbari තමයි දෙත්ත කිලංක මම මෂ්රූම් කියලා ඉන්නා කියන මාරේන අයි එන්නේ නැහැ පැත්ත බලන්න. right එන්නම් කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. ඒකෙන්ද මේ වගේ දේවල් කියවන්නේ. And especially for international trade is an alien subject, but it is easy to learn. Like the way I know with my experience and all, a lot of people they admire me. I'm not boasting, but they admire me because of my method of teaching. The best. Don't think this is a serious subject. Don't take it seriously. Take it lightly. But study. Whatever I'm telling you, you study. Right? Study. Apart from that, please watch the news, TV news, at least 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. The news taking 10 o'clock to where the English news is the English medium they can English news. We do have latest developments and I think ITN IT එක තමයි තියෙනවා එක. And IT and සිරස ඔය දෙකේම යනවා සමහරලාට චුට්ටක් බලන්න. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ෆ්‍රී වෙලාවකට business talks එනවනේ, discussions මේවා පොඩ්ඩක් ස්ටඩි කරන්න. ඔවෙන් තමයි අපිට අල්ල ගන්න පුළුවන් assignments වලට ඒ වගේම වගේ දේවල් වලට points අල්ල ගන්න පුළුවන්. ගොඩක් ඒවා ලියා ගන්නත් පුළුවන්. ඒකෙන්ද මේ පුළුවන් තරම් පොත් apart from reading additional books හරි අඩුයි. trade වල තියෙන ලොකුම ප්‍රශ්නේ ඒකයි. not much of books. right? ඉතින් ඒකෙන්ද පුළුවන් තරම් ඔය central bank reports and the supplements internet එකේම බල බල ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන් තරම් ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන් ගන්න. And watch the news. ඒක news බලන එකද කොහොමද හොඳ නෑ අපිට. updated නේ මේක ඒ ටික බලන්න. right? Right. Now we'll see what are the methods of payment in international trade. Right. Before that, can you take a copy and pass it on? I will give you, luckily you people are here today, නැත්නම් virtual class ආවම මේ වගේ දෙන්න විදියක් නෑ. Samples of various documentation in international trade. And I heard from Carlinger, in future, I think, like campuses, even in campus, the same thing they will do. We upload the presentation, like what I am doing now. This presentation, we will upload it to the system at least 2 days or 3 days ahead. 2 days ahead. You have to get it printed. And the prints the data, and the enemy. So, in the print carrier, in the banana, you will check with Carlinger. Carlinger. Monday, it's like a common. It's like a little tema next. Virtual classes. Mega is beyond my. I don't like, but this is what I you know, double check, right? The next time we got Mama put up a well, calling it in a began a banana. It was not yet done in it. The end of an amazing application. Could have Hamburana, I do it. Very good, you know, we had your next right. The methods of payment, there are 4 methods of payment in international trade. Right. Now we are going to discuss each and every method. And these are the areas now from here, this is previous international trade. Right. One method is advance payment. Second one is open account. Third one is documentary credit. And the fourth one is documentary collection. Advance payment, open account, documentary credits, documentary collection. These are the 4 payment methods in international trade. Right? Whatever the trading we do between the 2 countries, between the 2 parties, we do the payments, settlements, either by advance payment or open account or documentary credits. Documentary credit scanning, another common name, LCs, and documentary collection. Right? These are the 4 payment method, right? When it comes to documentary collection, when it comes to documentary collection, we can segregate into two. One is DP, other one is DA. DP and DA. DP means documents against payment. Documents against payment. As you see at site, you have to pay immediately. Other one is documents against acceptance. Documents against acceptance. That means once you accept the bill of exchange or the draft, then on the maturity of the draft, you have to pay. Right? So this is immediate. This is immediate. This is not immediate. Not immediate. Right? After a certain amount of time. Right. Then we will talk about the risk ladder. In international trade, the payment is like a risk ladder. Ladder කියන්නේ ඉනිමක. අවදානමේ ඉනිමක. අවදානමේ ඉනිමක. අපි මේක list out කරොත් කොහොමද වෙන්නේ කියන එක. Exporter is in this side, importer the other side. Right? Now we'll see what is most secured for the exporter and least secured for the exporter. Most secured for the exporter and the least secured for the exporter. There are certain payments. If you do it like that, that way exporter will be happy. Exporter will be happy. He will be fully covered, fully secure, right? And when it goes up in the ladder, it is least secured for the exporter. Likewise, the importer, from the most secure, is coming down in the ladder to the least secure. When they get Amerisima, we'll say the most secured for the exporter is the prepayment. Prepayment is advance payment. This is advance payment. Advance payment is the most secured one for the exporter. I'm going to explain to you what is advance payment. We are going to discuss. Okay. The least secured is the open account. Least secured is the open account. But when it comes to importer, the most secured one is the open account. And the least secured one is the prepayment of advance payment. Vice versa. Right? So, in between, you get correction DA, correction DA, then correction DP, then documented credit, LCs, and confirmed LCs, confirmed DCs. DC means documented credit. LC means letter of credit. Those days, the good old days, when we started banking, we talked about LCs. It was LCs, letter of credit. And now, after 90s, they changed the name to documented credit. it is more appropriate. Documented credit word is more appropriate than the letter of credit. Because it is based on the documents. Documentary credit. Credits based on documents. Likewise, collections based on documents. Documentary collection. Documentary collection. Right? Right. Then this is a next letter. It is whether you understood or not, don't worry. Just keep it aside. And once we complete all 4 payment methods, you can come back to this particular slide and then you can analyze. Right? Till then, don't think much. If you understood, good. Otherwise, no issue. No issue. But once we complete discussing all 4 payment methods, then come back to the one. Then you will understand what is this risk level. Right? Okay. Now, we'll have to discuss one more thing. Bank's role as a trustworthy third party or intermediary between the buyer and the seller. The bank's role. Sometimes you might get questions, right? Postgraduate people, right? The questions, but different with it. Not like DABF or DIT. DIT is I'm focusing more on technical. technical වලට අමරන්නේ නැහැ. ඒව කරන එක හරි නෑ. මොකද එක්කෙනෙක්ට විතරයි ඉන්නේ ආන්තම් හරි ට්‍රේඩ් වාත්තපේ ටච් ඇන්ඩ් ගෝ කියලා තියෙන්නේ. බ්‍රාන්ච් එකේ කරා කියන්නේ. right? Expert නෙමෙයි. Touch and go. At least you know something. Others are clueless. Right? එහෙම තියෙද්දි SDB අර මේ බැංක්ස් වල RDB කියන ළමයින්ට ගානක් අද ටෙක්නිකල් දුන්නොත් එහෙම මගේ දෙමළපෙන්ටත් කිඹු කියනවා. right? අපි පුළුවන් තරම් මම අනිත් පැත්තෙන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ටෙස්ට් කරනවා. I think that you are the people, the next generation, after doing the postgraduate, you are the next generation who will take over the leadership in our respective departments and the bank. Management, like that. You are the next step, right? එතකොට ගොඩක් ඒවා අපිට පැත්තෙන් බලන්න වෙනවා බැංක් එක පැත්තෙන්. To tell you, I am the I was in the first, like you people, I did my postgraduate postgraduate executive diploma. I am the first batch in 89-90. That's the year this was started. 89-90. I'm a first batch. In the other way, who is managers, manage operations, never get out of the clinic, but in a normal bankers. It was like the managers and above with the right. A level in here, but I got 89-90. So I'm so happy that being one of the students, the first batch, lecturing to you is a privilege for me. මේ පැත්තෙන් අපිට බලන්න ඕන දැන් banks වලට කොහොමද මේ trade බලපාන්නේ, how it is affecting the bank's kitty. Those are the things we'll have to study. මේ පැත්ත important වෙනවා. Now the bank's role as a trustworthy third party or intermediate between the buyer and the seller, because the bank is acceptable to both buyer and the seller, right? By issuing a documented credit, the buyer's bank guarantees the payment to the seller if he presents the correct documents. When you open LC, the buyer's bank will open the LC. They will give an irrevocable undertaking. Irrevocable undertaking cannot be changed. Irrevocable undertaking to the seller's bank that if the documents are complied with the terms and conditions of the LC, we will pay. Undertaking, a guarantee, right? A payment guarantee. The buyer has to pay for the documents, but not until his bank receives them. The buyer has to pay for the documents, but once they receive the documents only, if they are comfortable only, they will pay. Right? The bank is a financial institution and therefore has the necessary expertise in handling international trade transactions. That's true. The bank is a financial institution. So because of that, we have the expertise in handling international trade operations. In your respective banks, you have a dedicated team for trade finance. Dedicated team. Right? Not all the people can handle it. You are working for a branch, a department, must be your corporate. You know a little bit of operations, and you have to know about little bit of operations about trade finance. It's very important for you, right? But we are not going to open the LCs. No? You are not going to open. You will prepare the facilities for the customer and then give it to the department, trade department. Likewise, you are working for a province office, administration, you central bank office. Audit. Branches like Audit. You are in a branch. Which branch? Chinnakam. Right. Commercial bank. You are coming from Chinnakam. Now you are going back. What time there? 8:30 bus. Tomorrow morning it will be there. Straight to office. Great guys. What you people are doing? By Mam Pahadi Veravarot, by 36 or Gedatla Budiana. Right? It's off to you people. I mean, this is the way you have to study. Hard way. The neck, yeah, Dambulla. Yeah. Right? So, when you are in the branch, are you opening LCs? No. You collect the application and send it to the head office. And head office will do it. It's a specialized job, right? And they have the expertise, necessary expertise for that, right? And international trade operations. There are so many things you have to read and study. Now, unfortunately, I thought next week I was planning to give you the rules book, right? It's a common thing. from UCP 600 and URC 522. Case එකක් නැතුව ගියොත් නම් මම rules එක ගහලා දෙන්නම්. නැත්නම් මම rules එක upload කරන්න වෙනවා system එකට. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඒක print කරලා ගන්න වෙනවා. කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. පාඩම් කරන්න වෙනවා. UCP 600 there are 39 articles. URC 522 there are 26 articles which you have to study. Right? Now 39 articles and 26 articles in collection. The best way to study is, I will tell you, you can start from tonight or tomorrow, right? You don't have to wait till we give you this thing. Just go to the Google, say UCP 600, UCP 600. Other one is URC 522. URC 522, UCP 600 and URC 522. When you type UCP 600, it will give you 39 articles. You can print it, save it. Daily, method daily, at least you have to read one article each from UCP and URC, one article each. Masaking ivare. Masaking ivare no. Ivranata passe aisara afoge wanna. ඒකට පස්සේ අයිසර කියවන්නේ නෝ. එහෙම කියවනකොට තුන් පාරක් වගේ කියවනකොට ආන්දන් ඔළුවේ කියවි. නැත්තම් ඉතින් ප්‍රශ්න දෙකකට ආන්සර් කරගන්න බැරි වෙනවා. ප්‍රශ්න දෙකකට ආන්සර් කරගන්න බැරි වෙනවා. අරක තමයි ලේසිම ක්‍රමය. ඒකෙන් මම ගොඩක් වෙලාට මේ කරන්නේ මේ ෂුවර්ම දේවල් තමයි හරියට නිින්දෙන් නැති ළමයි එහෙම ඉන්නවනම් ඔය රැට පුජේ ගන්න ඇඳට ගියාම UCP එක අරන් ගිහිල්ලා ඒක ආටිකල් එක කියවන්න. ඒ ආටිකල් එක කියවයි. දෙවෙනි ආටිකල් එක කියවද්දි නිදි. බෝරින් නේ. සමහර දාට නවල් සම්බුනාම මම ළඟ දවසක මම වෙලාව බලනකොට පාන්දර 1යි කාලේ මම දන්නේම නැහැ මම නවල්. මොකද නවල් එකක් හම්බුනා නවල් එක කියවගෙන යනවා. ඒකට නින්ද යන්නේ ඒක ඉන්ටරෙස්ටිං. UCP 600 කිව්වොත් 9:08ම බුදි. 9:08 බුදි. දෙවෙනි එක කියවනකොට එහෙම නින්ද යනවාම තමයි. ඒකින්ද දවසට එක ගන්න කියවන්න. right. ඒක තමයි හොඳම දේ. මම කියන්නේ එකපාර කියවන්නේ කියලා කියවන්න බෑ. කියවනවා අමාරුයි. අරක ටික අරගෙන යන්න. right. මම දැන් ගන්නකොට ඒ අතරේ තව ගන්න යන්න පුළුවන්. A bank is able to supply trade and credit information to the buyers and sellers. Trade and trade information can when the buyer is in one country, seller is in another country, it doesn't unknown parties, two different countries. So what they will, if you have a customer, one of your customers in the credit department, he wants to start business with a guy in Germany. Now, that guy is coming, your guy is asking you, Miss, can you help me to get some information about the creditworthiness of that particular customer? I don't know whether you people are doing it now. We used to do it. At Standard Chartered and HSBC Bank, we used to do it. We sometimes we ask the customer, but we are charging them. Bank is not a done seller. Don't think bank is a done seller. We do any damn thing but charge. Please charge. Right? I'm going to charge charge karla. Especially the branches guys. I know your type of customers. I'm telling with my 45 years experience, right? Most of the customers, when they were asked from income tax or court order or something, they come and ask you for a statement copy. They come and ask you for a statement copy. I don't mind. इसमें 2017 මාර්තු වලයි ඉඳන් මාර්තු ඉඳන් මම එනකන් ස්ටේට්මන්ට්ස් ටික ඕන. ඒක මාර්තු ඉඳන් ජූනි වෙනකන් ස්ටේට්මන්ට්ස් ටික. ඒ බැංකෙන් දීලා නැද්ද? දීලා. ඒවා ෆයිල් කරලා නැහැ. නැති කරගන්න. දැන් ඕන. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මොකද කරන්නේ? බෑ කියනවා. මම කවදාකවත් බෑ කියන්නේ නැහැ. මම කස්ටමර් කෙනෙක්. කවදාකවත් බෑ කියන්නත් එපා. ඒ ඔක්කොම සිස්ටම් එකේ තියෙනවානේ. හැබැයි නිකන් දෙන්නේ නැහැ. 2017 නම් මම කියන එක ස්ටේට්මන්ට් එක 2000 rupees. මම කියන්නේ මම අනන්ත කස්ටමර්ස් වෙකනා 2019 වට 1000 rupees. right? 17 නම් 2000 rupees per statement. කැමති නම් දෙන්න. කරලා බලන්න. පවෙන්න කස්ටමර් එකගෙන මිස් ඕන්න හම්බුණා. අර හොයන්නේ නැහැ. They never check. They come and ask you. You take my word. ඔක තමයි වෙන්නේ. branches වෙන කට්ටිය දන්නවා. අර මිනිහ ඇවිල්ලා කියනවා නෑ මිස් ඒක හම්බුණාමයි මිස් තම මට එකයි අඩු. දැන් 10 කිලිප් එක දැන් ඉන්න එකයි. අදකට බෑ කියන්න එපා. කස්ටමර් කෙනෙක්. ඔව්. පුළුවන්. හැබැයි මේකයි ගන්න. that's a charge. right? ඒ වගේ තමයි මේවා. අපිට if you have a කාලිකදාවේ අනපඩ කතා
Jadi kelas itu physical නිසා අන්ති ක්ලාස් එකක් අනිවාර්ය ෆිසිකල් ක්ලාස් එකක් වෙන්න බෑ වෙලාව. නේ? එහෙනම් මම මේ 30 ඉන්න මාකටිං මැනේජ්මන්ට් පටන් ගන්නවා. නැත්නම් අවුල්නේ සර්.
thank god. අපි හිතුව සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම ළමයි
ක්ලාස් එක කරගෙන හරියන්නේ. ඒක ෆිසිකල් ඔටෝ.
දෙකම ෆිසිකල් එනවා.
ඔව්.
අපි වලු දැන් එකක්වත් හරියන්නේ නැහැ. ලබන සමාන වෙනකොට අමුදාපතේ නීතියද නේද? ඒක උඩ we'll see. නේ? අතන තමයි ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ. හරි. එහෙනම් ඔයාලට අපි next week UCP වාර්ෂික මේකල දෙන්නේ දෙක print කරලා ලබන සමාන එන් ළමයින්ට දෙන්න පුළුවන්. right? අනිතයට මේ අප්ලෝඩ් කරගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් ඒතර ඔයා කොහොමද ගන්නෙ? ජර්මනි ක්ලිනික් එකෙන්. How do you do it? You can write to your corresponding banking relationship. And Deutsche Bank or whatever the bank in Germany, right? Frankfurt or some other place, you can write to them. Up with your correspondent banking arrangements done and write to them and then give them the account number and the bank. The bank doesn't want to be the same bank. It can be some other bank, right? For example, if one of the Bank of Sri Lanka customers, පිටරටින් ඇවිල්ලා ආන බැංක් ඔෆ්ස්ලාට එකේ ඕලංගේ ආන මේ සම්පත් බැංක් එකේ තියෙන account එක විස්තර අහනවා. එතකොට අපි ඒක විස්තර අපි අරගන්නවා. bank to bank අරගෙන අපි අරගොනන්ට දෙනවා. Trade whether they are conducting a satisfactory account or not. ඔය ටික විතරනේ දෙන්නේ. වෙන details දෙන්නේ නැහනේ. ඉතින් ඒවට අපි charge ගන්නවා. ඒ ටික අපි කරන්නේ මේ right. The bank is ready to provide finance to the buyer and seller to fulfill their commercial obligations. Then the documents seen in international trade transactions. Documents seen in international trade transactions. In the maker then ganna, luckily I got it printed and I gave it to you. We are going to discuss these things when we are discussing. When the May document taker, if you are coming, if you are happens to come to the class in future, please bring this on a daily basis until at least 2-3 months of gain. Time to time I'll have to refer. Time to time I'll have to refer. Right? The commercial invoice is there. Under commercial documents, commercial invoice, packing list, certificate of origin. Right? Inspection certificate table, and then the other. That also comes under commercial documents. Right? Then the packing list. Example. Right? Then certificate of origin. That also coming under commercial documents. Transport documents, airway bill, bill of lading, marine bill of lading, right? Official documents, health certificate. They got the official documents for health certificate, right? Then bill of exchange. Bill of exchange. Bill of exchange is financial document. Bill of exchange is financial document. Then marine insurance document. Marine insurance document. Right? And මේවා මේ samples දීලා තියෙනවා. මේ samples ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගාව තියාගන්න. Right? අපි එතකොට මේවා එකින් එක කරනකොට when I am discussing the UCP 600, Article 17, invoices, invoices, right? Now the bill of exchange. අපි දැන් බලමු bill of exchange එක. Bill of exchange මේක ගත්තාම උගන්න තියෙනවනේ. මේ තියෙන්නේ. Bill of Exchange Act right? Bill of Exchange Act 1882 UK. In Sri Lanka, still our Bill of Exchange Act is 1882 UK. Right? This is the act we are using. And this was amended in 1927 and again in I am correct, 1951. On the present, आपको select change ना. 1927 ना मेरे change ना. Change ना क्या ने amend करा, right? Amend करा. Bill of exchange act. The definition of a bill of exchange. A bill of exchange is an unconditional order in writing. It's an unconditional order in writing. Right? Without any conditions, they are ordering, they are demanding money. Addressed by one person, drawer. Who is drawer? Who is drawer? Who is drawer? Is it the buyer or the seller? Drawer. Drawer is the seller. Drawer is the seller. Drawer is seller. Right? Always it is addressed by one person, the drawer, to another. The maker illanne thawe keneke sanne illanne. Hagen illanne. Buyer. Drawee. Drawee is the buyer. Drawee is the buyer. Right? To another. Signed by the drawer. Signed by the drawer. Drawer is the one who is demanding the money and signed. Right? Requiring the person to whom it is addressed. That is requiring the person to whom it is addressed. To whom it is addressed? Drawee. It is addressed to the drawee. Right? To pay on demand or at a fixed or determinable future date. On demand. At side or in a future date. Determinable future date. After 60 days, 6 days after side, 30 days after side, 90 days after side, determinable future date. Not a person. Right? A certain sum in money. Certain sum in money. To or to the order of the specified person, the payee or to the bearer. මේකම දැන් බැලුවාම මේක මොකටද සමානයි? Normal check එක. Normal check. Normal check is also coming under bill of exchange at 1882 UK. Right? This is similar to normal check. Normal check from the drawer, we write, right, to pay a payee. The bill of exchange or a draft is a written order by the drawer to the drawee to pay money to the payee. Now just see බලන්න Bill of exchange definition. Bill of exchange is an unconditional order in writing. Unconditional order in writing. Addressed by one person. Addressed by one person. That is drawer. Drawer. UK Export Company. Drawer. Right? To another. Singapore Import Banking Company. That is drawee. Buyer. Drawer is the seller. Right? Signed by the drawer. Signed by the drawer. test with or something, test with killer sign color thing, then draw sign color thing, signed by the draw, right? And then requiring the person to whom it is addressed, requiring the person to whom it is addressed. They are requesting the Singapore Import Banking Company to pay a certain amount of money, US dollars 250,000, US dollars 250,000, certain amount, about 250,000 given, approximately 250,000. That is not a bill of exchange. A certain sum of money, right? Certain sum of money. On demand or at a fixed or determinable future date. On demand or at a fixed or determinable future date. Make a comment date. Take on demand at a fixed determinable future date. May draft again. Louder. Determinable future date. Over again. 60 days after site. මේ draft එක මම දැක්ක වෙලාවේ ඉඳන් දැක්ක දවසේ ඉඳන් 60 days වලින්. Right? Then a certain sum in money towards the clear නේ දැන් ඔක්කොම ටික. Right? දැන් මේ definition එක අපි මෙතන මේ කරලා තියෙනවා. Right? Make a bill of lading again. Bill of lading name formally. Bill of lading again. Take a legal one put that. Take a tino. මගේ මේ මේක දාලා තියෙනද උඹලා ගාව තියෙන එක හොඳයි. Maran bill of lading ban. Maran bill of lading. Right? Orient Overseas container line bill of lading. Make it දාලා තියෙනවා කවුද shipper කියලා. පුඩින් එනවා shipper. Who is the exporter or the shipper? Right? ඊගාවට consignee. Consignee. Either the bank or another party. If it is a connection, it will be a party, right? To order. To order of shipper. To order of shipper. It must say, payment. Notify party, complete name and mailing address. Notify party. अब කාටද මේක notify කරන්න ඕනේ? Right? Covered grounds. That party. The moment it goes to the other country, we have to notify that particular party. Right? Then most important things are vessel voyage number. Vessel or voyage එකේ දැන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් නමක් තියෙනවා. Vinat MV or somewhere whatever and name of the vessel. ඒ vessel එකේ නම තියෙන්න ඕන. ඊගාවට port of loading. කොහෙන්ද මේක පටවන්නේ? whether it's Kuala Lumpur or UK Southampton or it's Colombo or Hambantota, whatever the loading port. Then the port of discharge. When the Godabani, port of discharge. Ega apel pehadilum tiyenna. Then the description of goods. Right? Description of goods, 80 cartons running shorts said to contain 3,000 packs running shorts. Right? Running shorts. 80 cartons running shorts. ඒක පැහැදිලිව තියෙනවා මොනවාද කියලා. හැබැයි මේක කියන්න ඕනේ නෑ in the commercial invoice it will be given in detail. Running shorts එක කොහොමද එන්න ඕනේ කියලා මේ commercial invoice එකේ එයි. right? දැන් මේක නම් දීලා තියෙනවා මගේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඒක සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම දෙන්න ඕන 60 cartons running shorts. Running shorts කොහමද? blue color ද මොනවාද colors? ඒ specific colors තියෙනවා නම් ඒ ඔක්කොම invoice එකේ යනවා. හැබැයි මේකේ ඉන්නේ brief description එක. Very brief description එක. Right? Then අපි මේකේ දාන්න ඕන එහා පැත්තේ යනවා bill of lading number එක එනවා carrier booking number bill of lading number within HK 1042-184 කියලා ඊගාවට ඔය ඔක්කොම ඇවිල්ලා අපිට මේක දාන්න ඕන තව how many copies කියන එක මේකෙදී නම් තියෙන 2 copies කියලා සාමාන්‍ය normally it will be 3 copies bill of lading that we know 3 copies and it has to be signed by the carrier or the agent or the master. Carrier or the agent or the master, given their capacity. Make it the important day when in a bill of lading, when somebody is signing, we have to give the capacity of the signature. Capacity. What do you mean by capacity of the signature? Can mean as whom you are signing? As whom? Are you signing as the agent or the master or the carrier? Kamu කවුද කියලා identify වෙන්න ඕන. Right? ඒ ටික අපිට එන්න ඕන. Right? Okay. marine insurance එක බලමු අපි. ඒකත් යාන්තම් බලමු. marine insurance එකක් එනවා. Name insured, Millers Brewery Limited. Address number 40, York Street, Colombo 1. Right? Financial interest, Commercial Bank of Ceylon PLC. Now, here, Commercial Bank of Ceylon PLC has a financial interest. Very important. But the insurance is there, bank is undertaking. Insurance again on a bank. If there's a claim, the bank should get the claim, not the customer. Right? Again, the make basic premium, LKR 6,491, 80 sum assured under this policy US dollars. And it is very, very important always the sum assured should be in the same currency as the LC. The same currency as the LC. If the LC is in US dollars, sum assured should be in US dollars. It cannot be in rupees, sum assured. Right? It cannot be in rupees. It has to be in dollars. Right? Make it and this ticket, Okay. Some of the health certificates, then chicken wings, health certificates again. Veterinary government services, export certificate. The health certificate කියන්නේ fit for human consumption කියන එක තමයි එන්නේ. අපි ඒකට කියනවා phytosanitary certificate කියලා කියනවා. health certificate කියන තව නමක් තමයි phytosanitary certificates කියලා. PHY PO phytosanitary. Phytosanitary certificates කියන්නේ fit for human consumption. මේකේ example එක දීලා තියෙන්නේ chicken wings. Chicken wings කියන එක බලන්න අඬ දාන්න නෙමෙයි ගේන්නේ මිනිසුන්ට. right? එහෙනම් ඒක fit for human consumption කියලා අර Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries වලින් certify කරලා තියෙනවා. right? Especially when we are importing milk food, we ask for phytosanitary certificates. Can you remember few years back, about 10-12 years back, there was somehow on melamine on milk food. තියෙනවා කියලා පොඩි ආందోලනයක් ආවනේ. දැන් ඒ වෙලේ ආපු ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි කොහොමද මේගොල්ලෝ phytosanitary certificates ගත්තේ කියන එක. It is not fit for human consumption. right? දැන් මේක නැත්තම් ඔස්ට්‍රේලියාව වලින් එහෙම එන කිරිවල බලු කිරි අපිට එවයි අපේ පරිභෝජනයේට. නේද? ඒක තමයි අපිට වෙන්නේ. මෙලබන් අරවා මේවා මේ নানা ප්‍රකාර නම් වලින් එයි. අරගොල්ලෝ රටේ හදන්නේ බල්ලන්ට. මේ බල්ලන්ට දෙනවා. හරිද? ඉතින් ඒ වගේ මේ phytosanitary certificate එක හරි important. ඒක. airway bill එක එන්නේ if it is air transport. Cathay Pacific එකෙන් යන එක. inspection certificate එකක් SGS inspection certificate එකක් ඒ වගේමයි සමහර electronic companies වල electronic equipment එම අපේ inspection certificate වලින් යවනවා. right? ඒවා check කරලා ඒවා test කරනවා. second list කියන්නේ how you have packed. How you have packed. Tennis rackets in 500 cartons. 500 cartons. ඒ cartons වල ප්‍රමාණ කීයද? pieces කීයද? ඒක carton එක විතර pieces කියනවාද? ඒ ඔක්කොම විස්තර එන්නේ ඒකට. right? Okay. Now the final one we'll see international trade data of Sri Lanka. Just to get some idea about the international trade in Sri Lanka, the trade deficit in 2018 widened substantially, reflecting the increasing import expenditure by 50.7, outspacing the 22.4% growth in export earnings. And we have put popular central bank reports figures analyze karna in Sri Lanka always our imports are much higher than the exports. Because of that, always our balance of payment is in red. Our balance of payment is in red, right? Balance of payment. Because we send more money out to settle the import bills and we get lesser money. Right? In 2018, I can remember, if you can remember, මට මතක නැහැ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මතක් වෙන්න බෑ ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ දැන් පොඩි ළමයි නෙවෙයිනේ ඉස්කෝල DABF එකේ ළමයි වගේ නෙමෙයි කොමඩි ටිකක් ඉන්නේ මට මතකයි Prime Minister then Prime Minister Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe was telling we have we have increased our export earnings. We have increased our export earnings from 10.9 million dollars, $10.9 million to $11.7 million or something. අදාවත් බලන් හිටියා අපුඩි ගන්නව බලන් හිටියා මේ ඔක්කොම අපුඩි ගන්නවා බලන් ගන්නවා ආයි දැන් 10.9 තිබුණ එක අපි දැන් 11.9 වලට 7 වලට දැන් නගලා අපේ export earnings it's an achievement කියලා කියනවා අපි මෙච්චර මේ වෙවුවා මේ අපුඩි ගන්නවා විසි ගන්නවා කොහොමද ගන්නවා හැබැයි ලෝක පුරුව 10.9 එක 11.7 වල කොහොමද? exchange rate වලින් exchange rate එක නැග්ගනේ 160 ඉඳන් 185 නැග්ගාම මේක නිකම්ම නැගිනවා අනේ ගමේ මිනිස්සු හොදන්නේ අපේ අතලාචල අපුඩි ගහනවා නිසා බලන්නේ ඉතින් අන්නට පුළුවන් එකනේ ඊට පස්සේ අපි කොයිලාකවත් කියන්නේ අපේ ඉම්පෝර්ට්ස් පිටර වැඩිවෙලා කියලා කියන්නේ ඒක නේද ඊටලා ගොඩක් දැන් මෙතන මම පෙන්නලා තියෙන්නේ ඒකයි අපේ import expenditure went up by 50.7 against export earnings, export growth of 22.4 but if you take the volumes, yes, volumes has come down, right? In Koilaka, tapi kena figures hari kila pilihannya mana? You have to analyze, right? When you read something internationally, you have to analyze and see, right? Direction of trade in Sri Lanka, major trading partners in 2018, India, Singapore, USA, our major trading partners. Right? Other countries that had trade over US dollars 1 billion, China, Iran, UK, and Japan. Right? Largest export destination, USA, 24%. Do you know about that? Is this the first time you are seeing this? 24%? Where the largest export destination? USA. One of them is very good handy. Garments. Very good. Very good. I like teaching PIT and postgraduate over there. Knowledgeable. And put take everything in the over. Adagana. Right? Make it 24% of it. Yeah, sorry, politics you can't talk, you can't teach trade finance without politics. It can't right? So touching politics, you can't talk about trade. Okay, so I did a another one. We are home, but I don't America, Tangalona. Dalapati, you know, put on them. Yanello, 24% how they can be. You can happy, hello, use another way. A GSP plus second. Here, Dana and the conditions, yes, sir, no, sir. You know, make a reason, right? UK 10.5. India 5.2. Foremost import origins, India 17.6, Singapore 9.3, and China 16.4. Singapore is one of the imports in China. Abi China is a colony of China. Right? A colony of China. Anything? Singapore? Huh? Super. Crude oil. Most of the crude oil comes through Singapore. Right? Most of the crude oil comes through Singapore. Abhi hitan nathi hai. Very good. Exports by commodities, industrial commodities are very economic. Then agricultural, mineral and others. Imports by commodities, intermediate goods, majority and intermediate goods, right? Consumer goods 18%, then investment goods 22%, and others 1%, right? Export destinations, UK, Belgium, Germany, European Union, USA, Asia, Middle East, others. Now, for the international trade and international politics, they can Belgium, Germany, European Union, and others. And 23%. 23% of exports are European Union. That means easy better. Okay. After Dano, make a Dano, Dano, make something in there, make something in there. May have ask around, may have a kitchen. Up you hear a carane in a way, they were hidden. We have to find new areas, new countries. That kind of other. USA, of course, Asia, Middle East, look, they take crude oil. When we figures analyze can put them. Imports by origin, European Union 9%, USA, usually would have capital in there. USA will have customs, the exports currently, USA will have export currently 24%. USA custom barrier with the make a month may it lecture Mama lecture training CIJ FCIJ. They came up international trade frauds. In the SI and above SSP level coming level making adjective Yatin SI. Thing classical Samana had the interest to me again. Anyway, Mao, I don't know again. A plus again against Sima one day. Came to the police in the last nest. In the Marteka, lecturing like Sakitya, customs. Yeah, Mama taken that. We take the learning. There's no limit for learning, right? With the USA will custom barrier with the barrier getting customs. Within the customs custom checking it New York, Harbour, Yeah. Then unbelievable. මේ ආබගට නිව්යෝර්ක් USA වලින් දාලා තියෙනවා. අසමත්. මෙහෙදිම දැක්කම තමයි අරින්නේ. නැවට පටවන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා ඔය චෙක් කරලා සේරම බෙර කරලා යවන්නේ. ඉස්සරටම yeah. More they have the monopoly. Right? Even I didn't know about it. So they got India, Singapore, China, Asia and Middle East and others. You know. Right. I think we have covered the introduction. Next week, I want to do the 4 payment methods. I will try my best to finish the 4 payment methods, right? If I can finish it, then much easier, right? And we will, anyway you will be here, right? Anyway you will be here. So I will try my best to give you the UCP and URC. Then you can start studying the thing. But before that, you can go to the Google, type it, and get those things. Right? I don't want to take much time of you because I know some people are from outstation. They have to go all the way to destinations, right? So we'll try next week. Abi hariyatama 1:15 hari mama samane 1 o'clock kanata enawa. You tell me if I can start at 1 o'clock, I can finish at 4:30 or something. That we can start early and finish early, or even 1:30, 5:30. Probably last week for the mother. What is the matter? Right? Of you only deal, but over the ground only I am flexible. Right? What about today's class? Any questions? If you have any questions, any areas, please ask me any questions, even now or after the class. I am here. Otherwise, see you next week. Thank you.